Hey there, welcome to another fun crypto video. Today, I thought it might be interesting to show you guys how I pick another coin for a masternode. And we're going to start by learning a little bit about how to read Masternodes.online, which is a site I use to basically do some research on any of the coins that I want to put into my masternodes that I own. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I've actually moved a couple of my masternodes that I maintain to shared services in full because the profitability has dropped off so much that actually maintaining them myself has not really been very effective. So this way the shared service maintains them for me. I still retain the majority of the shares of the coins I was getting, but I don't have to worry about checking it. That's their responsibility. And yeah, the shared services do take a fee, but with the prices of some of them dropping, it really isn't worth my time to do that. And it frees up some slots for me to add some other coins. So we're going to take a look at their list and talk a little bit about what this page is for. So basically this page indexes and keeps track of the majority of the masternode coins. And the stats are provided at some point and tracked to a degree. Now, I want to be clear here that they are not always 100% updated, because if we look at Sparks and you actually look, and this is one of the ones that I actually moved to a shared service, it says that your average masternode reward frequency time is 2 days, 4 hours, 59 minutes, and 2 seconds. And I actually was finding that to be more upwards of 3+ days rather than this shorter average. And also, they have actually made the update finally. Last time I looked at this, they were still going with the 14 spark that you got every day. And that's actually not quite correct, because I think you're getting like 5, or it's less than 14, which is what it was. So the average masternode payout has decreased a little bit. So this is one of the ones, like I said, that I moved out to a shared service because it really isn't. And this was one of the first ones that I ever set up because it was actually very easy to set up. It was an easy one to follow, and it kind of is the one that got me into it. So I still have a kind of a soft spot for this coin because this is the one that got me into masternodes. And right now I have about 18 of them that I run. So I know it's not a whole lot of them, but as I learn more and more about which ones I want to do, I add them. And I'm not in a hurry to add them. So I do a lot of research and I see what I want to do with them. And I'll take you through my process with this coin as to how I decided I wanted to pursue it. So the first thing I do is I look at the graph. Now the graph for all these coins right now is going to be kind of in the toilet. Altcoins are not doing incredibly well, but one spark is about 3 cents US dollars. So that isn't horrible, but it isn't great. On the plus side, it does give you an opportunity to buy the entire masternode for about $28. So you can get into one of these for about $28. And in this case, where in some coins you stake them, you keep the coins in your wallet and you basically get paid out every so often just having the coins. In this, you actually maintain something on the network that secures the network and processes transactions and generates coins based on what they're doing. So you actually are a part of maintaining this cryptocurrency. So that kind of brings you in as a more interested owner. Now, the next thing I do after I check the graph and just kind of see what its track record is like. And when I got into this, it was probably about right here. And I know that was low, but they had really good documentation, so it was a really easy one to get into. And it really helped me get it going. So I really didn't mind the low value. And by the way, the low value of it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't make any money. The low value just means that the coin doesn't have a whole lot of value for whatever reason. And there's a couple things you have to consider here. And I'm going to go into a couple of those things that you need to be mindful of when you're looking at these. So just a quick overview of what this top line is. This is about how much you should expect to gain per day for maintaining a Masternode. About 13 cents US dollars, or about almost 5 spark. So you get 5 spark and you maintain those coins. You get these coins for maintaining your Masternode. And this is your payout. Now let's assume that you are making this every day. So every day, and this is averaged out because the payout on these is almost 3 days now. So you would get this over the course of 3 days. But let's say this is a daily thing. So every day you get your 5 spark, and then you have to decide what you want to do with them. And this is where your daily income can vary greatly. Now, Sparks is actually sold on Stocks Exchange and Trade Satoshi. So you have a choice in where you can sell the coins. You can either sell them on Stocks Exchange or you can sell them on Trade Satoshi. Alternatively, you can also buy them there if you wish to start one of these. But you have to transfer your coins from your wallet over to Stocks Exchange, and then you have to do a little bit of wizardry on the exchange to actually say how much you want to sell them for. And this is where you get a choice. You can either sell them for the current rate that they're selling for, or usually the current rate someone is willing to buy them for, which is going to be less usually than the asking rate for people selling them. Now, if you continually sell at the rate of the buyers, so you're selling it less, you're going to depreciate your coin. It's usually better to pick something in the low end of the sellers and put your coins in there and just join the pool with the rest of the sellers who are trying to maintain the price. If you are in a Masternode and you're serious about it, maintaining a value in the coin is definitely in your interest, because if the coin loses all value, it doesn't matter how much you have, you won't make anything. But Sparks is a good example because it does have some value. So I take my 5 Sparks, I send it over to Stocks Exchange. I set it as a sell rate at the lower end sell price, and I wait for someone to purchase it. If no one purchases it that day, I go back the next day, I cancel my order, and then I put another 5 Sparks in with my order and sell it. So that's my process on what I do with my Masternodes. As far as why I pick a Masternode, that's what we're going to get into in this video. I may do a video about exchanges later, and I may do a video about actually setting up a Masternode at some point if you guys are interested. But we're going to look at the income. So 13 cents a day, 94 cents a week, $4 a month, and $49.46 a year. So here's the kicker. If you go to Vulture, which is where most of my Masternodes are stored, and you set up a Masternode or rent a VPS, a virtual private server over there, typically the rate you want to start at is about the $5 rate. They have some $5 servers, they have some $10 servers, different levels for different things. The $5 server is generally just fine for running Masternodes, and all of my $5 servers have at least 4 Masternodes on them, and that's usually about where I try to cap them out. I like to keep them with 4 because if I can get 4 Masternodes paying about $5 each, then one Masternode covers the cost of the Masternode, and the other 3 give me 3 times the profit I'm paying for the Masternode. So that's how you make money. You do things in a smart way. When this drops down too much, it may just be a temporary thing, and you may not want to get rid of the coins. Like I didn't want to get rid of my Sparks. So I went to Mint Nodes, and I actually deposited all of my Sparks into Mint Nodes. So I'm still gaining stuff. I still retain my 1,000 coins, but I don't have to maintain my own Masternode, my own VPS to retain that. So I'm getting closer to this figure rather than having to pay this figure out. and I can have it reinvest my coins, or I can have it deposited into something. So right now I'm just reinvesting, because if I get 2 times the amount in a typical Masternode, I'll be making more profit than I would be making with just one. And that's just pure math. So we're going to look at the statistics on the price. This is the average volume of trade. Now, this figure is very subjective because it gains information from sometimes not all of the indexes and all of the exchanges. But it does give you a key figure. If the volume of trade is 0, and you're watching this coin, and the volume stays at 0, or it never seems to go up, no one is interested in this coin and no one is buying it. This could conversely also work against you if you use just this figure, because I got tricked into this one time, and I'll explain that when I get up to the left side and we go through that. This is the market cap. This is the total amount of, well, I don't want to get into that. It's not really important, especially not for the purposes of this video. The change is what's more important. This coin has in the last 24 hours dropped 1.37% from what it was before. So this will track and trend whether the coin is going up or down. And you can see that there have been some changes over the last few days, and it has fluctuated a good bit. But this shouldn't be your only factor. I mean, your return on investment is going to have a big indicator on how much you're making and when you're getting back. Now, your return on investment annual for Sparks is 181.87%. Your return on investment in days is about 201 days. So, not factoring in any expenses, if you purchase 1,000 Sparks and create a Masternode, in about 201 days, you'll have paid that back. Now, if you factor in having a VPS and you only have one VPS, you'll actually be losing $1 a month. So that's why I tend to double, triple, and quadruple them up on the same VPS. And there is no performance loss. They do a really good job with on the $5 one for about 4. After about 4, they start to get a little stressed out. Some coins are a little bit more demanding than others. I have a few VPSs that are the upgraded versions, the $10 to $20 versions. And I put the more active coins on there that tend to drive the server processors up a little bit. And we can get into VPSs later if you like. But going through in this, these are the paid rewards for Masternodes, which I'm sure is not anywhere close to accurate. So this is your Masternode average frequency. Now, when you first set up your Masternode, there's going to be about a 24 to 48 hour period where you're not going to get any rewards. So for a day or two, you're not going to see anything regardless of what you have. Now, after that, you should be more closely in line with what this figure says right here. About the 2.5 day time frame, you should get one block of rewards. This is the total number of average Masternodes. Now, I consider this to be a pretty important factor in when I set up a Masternode. There are almost 1,500 Masternodes for Sparks. There's probably more because they get set up pretty often. Now, your Masternode gets a reward by moving itself up to the top of the list, and you are rewarded at that point in time when you actually hit a reward. So you move up, you move up, you move up. The less competition you have, as far as when the blocks move, the more frequently you will get rewards. So this factor going up, 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 and up is related to the fact that there are 1,500 Masternodes. So every time you get paid, you get thrown back down to the bottom of the list. And then you got to work your way up through almost 1,500 other Masternodes to get paid again. This is the total coin supply. This is how many coins are locked. And this is a very important figure, which I will tell you from experience, you need to verify this prior to committing to setting up your Masternode. This is a good indicator. It at one time required 1,000 Sparks to set up a Masternode. It still to this day requires 1,000 sparks to set up a Masternode. There are other coins that I'm into that have changed the collateral requirement for Masternodes. So that leads us back up to the top of the page where we have the links. Everything you need to know about this coin should be covered in these links. Now, Sparks is a bad example for this because there was a coin change where it was taken back from the original developer. So I don't believe the website points to the right place, but we're going to go ahead and open it up anyway, just so you can see. And I believe the new coin is Sparks Reborn. So we're going to drop down here and we're going to look at a couple of things. They have a wallet in the operating system that I use, so I am able to receive and send coins. They have an exchange that I use. I use Stocks Exchange fairly often. I don't want to go to too many exchanges. There are opportunities when I want to buy a Masternode on Stocks Exchange and I might want to trade the coins on South Exchange. So that's a good bridge for me because I'm buying them here. I already have an account. I'm already trading on here. I already have money on here. I don't have anything that I trade on South Exchange. So if I wanted to buy a coin that happens to only be on South Exchange, what I ended up having to do is I have to buy the coins. I have to buy Bitcoin. I have to send it over to South Exchange and purchase what I want to purchase. With Sparks, I can take the money from Stocks Exchange. I can buy my Masternode here where I have coins that trade and buy them with the coins from my other Masternodes. And then when I get a reward, I can send it to South Exchange and I can trade it for whatever I want. So it's a little bit easier way of gaining your next Masternode without having to purchase more Bitcoin or move a whole bunch of Bitcoin around. You could just move the rewards from what you have over to the exchange, and that will help you buy your next one. Now, there's nothing really on South Exchange that I really want right now, but this was an example. And the actual coin trades on Stocks Exchange and Trade Satoshi, which is nice to have a bridge between the two because there are some coins on Trade Satoshi that I want. There are some coins on Stocks Exchange that I want. When you're looking at the webpage for the coin, check out their roadmap. Is this a project you want to be involved in? Is this just a payment coin? What does this coin do that's different from other coins? Now, my logic with setting up my first Sparks Masternode was that they had a very, very detailed document on how to set up a Masternode. So it made it very easy, and it was very inexpensive. I believe it was $30 when I set it up. So I spent $30 on Bitcoin, sent it over to Trade Satoshi, bought 1,001 Sparks, traded it back to my local wallet, and set up a Masternode per the instructions in the Masternode setup guide. And that was months ago, and I've been getting rewards ever since, and it was really helpful. It showed me a lot of things that I needed to learn. There was a lot of troubleshooting. There were a lot of things I had to do. Anytime you're setting something up for the first time, usually you're going to find that there are some challenges to overcome, and that was really handy to have this link to their Discord so that I could just go there and see what other people had done to overcome the problems that I was having. Now, if, and this is something you should always do, you become interested in a coin, you should always go to the website, especially the website listed on here. If that website does not open a page, chances are good you may want to consider doing more research before purchasing a coin. You can also go to the announcement page on Bitcoin Talk and kind of just take a brief overview on what is going on with the coin. So I usually look at the first page or so, see what people are saying, And then before I make my final purchase, I go to the last page and I read what's going on. And you can see here where the original developer kind of lost interest and disappeared. And the project got picked back up. So this is from the original one, I believe, and the original one had kind of died. And a lot of people speculated that it was dead, and actually it's not dead by any means. So in order to find that out, since I was interested in the coin, I went to their Discord and I looked around and realized that in this particular case, the dev spends more time on Discord than he does on Bitcoin Talk, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. But that got me kind of interested in seeing where this would go, so I set it up. Read the Discord, saw that it was a project I was interested in, and bought it. So this is a good example. Everything lined up. Everything worked the way it should. The announcement was valid. They have a GitHub right here. The website worked. The Discord worked. There were a number of people in the Discord. There were people with interest in it. It was a good start for me. Now, the next thing you can do is you can look at initial coin offerings and see what's coming. And this tells you coins that are going to be out soon. Oh, excuse me. This tab mentions tiered masternodes, which are masternodes that operate at different levels. Basically, varying the coins that you have to have in order to own the masternode. So, BytePay. BytePay is a good example. We have 4 different BytePay masternodes, and I'm not even sure these are still valid. Kittycoin's another good one. Kittycoin's a good one to talk about because, well, I'll show you why in a minute. But Kittycoin has 2 levels of masternode. Let's do that one. It's a lot less confusing. So you have one that requires 20,000 collateral and one that requires 40,000 collateral. Now, if we look at the Kitty to 20,000, it's telling us we're going to earn $1.78 a day, $12 a week, $53 a month, or $651 a year. Kittycoin has a 50,917.5% return on investment. 20,000 Kitty is only going to cost you $1.26. Now, if this seems like it's too good to be true, you better believe it is. We're going to go to the website. We're going to check this out. Oh, wait. Website can't be reached. Okay, let's go to the announcement. Ooh, announcement doesn't exist. Ooh, that's probably not a good sign, is it? Oh, okay, well, let's go look at their GitHub. Oh, GitHub's not there. Now I'm going to open the Discord because I have a lot of Discords that I'm a member of and my screen will go nuts. But if you go to the Kitty Discord, it's really nothing. The Twitter is gone. It's an unusual situation because this coin is sold on Crex. And a lot of the coins on Crex are very, very solid coins. When you go looking at coins that are usually what someone would say would be scam coins, things that people are trying to take their money, things of that nature, like Speedo. Pretty sure Speedo was one of them. No value. I don't even think the web page opens. It does. Well, that's unusual. Anyway, let's assume this is a scam coin. Most of the coins that are quick to set up and cheap and end up being scams come from GraviX. GraviX is not a terrible exchange. There are some very good coins on GraviX. But apparently it's very easy to put a coin on GraviX that you're just intending on scamming people with. So that is another thing to look for. So back to Kitty. This return on investment sounds great. Too good to be true, right? It obviously is too good to be true. The daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly income. The fact that we can do a return on investment in one day. All that should send up red flags. And if you're still interested in the coin, and this alone should not be something that rules it out. Extremely high return on investment, low cost, high income should not rule out the coin. What needs to rule out the coin is the fact that the website doesn't exist, the Bitcoin Talk announcement has been deleted, and the GitHub is gone. Those are the things, and the Discord is gone or empty. I don't remember last time I went there was nobody there, because I actually looked into this because I thought it was an interesting tiered Masternode. I bought a coin called I don't even want to say because I don't remember exactly which one it was, without doing these steps. It had reasonable daily, weekly, monthly, yearly income. I mean, we're not talking about Lambo money, but you know, $50, $60 a year isn't horrible, and it fit right in as a low volume coin, so it didn't jack up my masternodes too bad, so it could fit on something with a low level VPS and do just fine, and kind of help offset the cost of that VPS. So I would technically be making an extra 50 cents a month, which was cool, or whatever, $2, $3 a month extra, whatever it worked out to be. So I bought 5,000 of the coin, and 5,001 of the coin, because I wanted to set one up, and the GitHub is gone. You can't get the wallet. The GitHub is gone. You can't get the files to run the Masternode. So I've got 5,000 of these coins that I purchased and nowhere to take them off the exchange because the coin technically doesn't exist anymore. Before you let something get the better of you, before you let your greed get the better of you, and honestly, this should be a red flag in this case. 50,000% return on investment is extremely outrageous. But follow it up with these. If all of this stuff is dead and you can't find anything about the coin, don't even waste your time. This particular one has Masternode maps, because Kitty Coin was actually a coin at one time. Right now there's 2 Masternodes in Russia, 4 in Germany, a couple in Italy, 1 in Australia, 1 in Brazil. There's 21 in the US. So from when the coin was actually valid, there were a number of people who set up Masternodes. So the coin still transfers data. The network still exists. Eventually, the blockchain's going to lock up and stop, and you're going to be out your money. Now, I don't think $1.28 sounds like too horrible an investment, but in this particular case, you're going to be spending $1.28 for something you can't even get the coins off the exchange. You can't even set up the wallet. You can't even set up the files to run the Masternode. They don't exist anymore. So you would be completely wasting $1.28, and then you've got to put them back out on the exchange and pray that somebody buys them. And with a coin like this, it's very unlikely somebody will. So you're going to take a severe loss. So these are the things I consider. Every day when I wake up, I go look at the trending page. The trending page has gainers and droppers. So the gainers are the coins that are on their way up. These are not necessarily the coins that are trending up and going extremely high, but these are the coins that are increasing in value. This is like where I focus most of my attention in looking for new coins. So like TechAxe. TechAxe sounded like an interesting coin. The yearly income was a little bit too low for me to consider setting one up myself. It costs $10.16 to set one up, and it's going to take you 125 days to get your money back. But considering as I'm going to take $5 a month out of this $2.44 monthly income, I'm losing $2.50 a month by having this Masternode if I have it by itself. I probably don't want to do that. Now, TechX actually has a pretty low return on investment, so it's actually a pretty solid coin as far as what it's going to give you. Something outrageous like Speedo, which is 16,999% return on investment. It's going to cost you nothing to build the Masternode. Sounds like a good deal if everything doesn't check out and you don't see anything, but when you look at it, 116 or 16,000% return on investment. Well, 16,000% of zero is still zero. So they're going to earn 1 cent a day, 9 cents a week, 42 cents a month, and $5 a year. Do you want to put all that time and effort to make $5 a year? Do you believe this coin is going to make a comeback? The price is going to go up and the volume is going to go up to where this coin's going to actually do something. If you do, now's a great time to get into it because it's extremely cheap. But if you don't, well, I don't think I'd recommend doing it. Now, some of the coins that I exclusively have for the fact that they exist on a shared Masternode server that I was on. There's other reasons why I get into them. I actually wanted to get into Linux Pay. I had a problem. I actually had the coins to start up the Linux Pay server. But when I transferred the coins to my wallet, they never arrived. So I don't really see, I mean, you know, you're getting $2.73, $19 a week, $82 a month, $998 a year. That's all well and good, but when I started looking deeper into the project, there were some severe flaws in this project. So research is going to be your friend. Love the idea of the project. I actually found out that there's nothing to do with Linux, and they're just capitalizing on the Linux name and not putting a lot of effort into it and doing a lot of code copying. So I got out of that one. I sold my 50,000 coins back. I didn't lose anything, but I sold my 50,000 coins back. Now, here's another interesting scenario that you can sometimes get into in cryptocurrency. You can go to droppers. All right, I have a Kraken coin Masternode. I've seen this go all the way up to the top of the list. I've seen it go all the way back down to the bottom. It's all over the place. But I own one, and it pays out fairly often. Sure, it only pays me $21 a year, but that number has been higher, and that number has been lower. But it was a cheap coin to get into that has fluctuated like crazy, and I've already made my money back on it, so I'm not really going to get rid of it. And for example, it costs 2,500 Kraken coin in order to have one Masternode. I used rewards from my other Masternodes to buy this, so I really wasn't losing anything. All right, going down this list some more. These are the ones that have dropped the most over the last day or so, and you can see their change. Plexus dropped 79.51% in value over the last day. So that means it has very little value. So let's look at a coin that's kind of going out. In order to set up a Plexus Masternode, it's going to cost you $6.44. You're going to have to go to GraviX to do it. To me, red flag number 1 just popped up. Cautionary flag. Let's call it a cautionary flag. It's on GraviX. It's at the bottom of the dead list. It actually had a spike here, so somebody's doing something with it. I'm going to check the website. I'm going to check the announcement. I'm going to make sure GitHub is valid. I'm going to check Telegram, and I'm going to check Discord. I'm going to look at the Explorer and make sure the block is moving. I'm going to look at the daily income. That's not too bad. I mean, you know, it's going to take me 78 days to make my money back, but I'm not really using money. I'm just using Masternode rewards, so from other Masternodes, so it's not like I miss it. But if I had a lot of faith that Plexus was going to go up and do something, based on my research, dropping $6 on it right now to get 10,000 plexus and get paid out 127 plexus a day is not a bad thing. Because if this thing does go up, say it doubles in price again, goes back up to 100 plus 144%, you have made double your money. You're making more income per day. You're able to sell it at a higher rate, and you're not losing money anymore. But that's for a project that you actually research and you believe in. There was another one that I looked at that was in here. I keep looking at Frozen because I think it sounds interesting, but then I go research it and it's not. Zoom is another one. Mouse was one that I looked in, but I actually found out that Mouse is like split completely in their development, so there's a lot of mouse clones coming out. It's not really worth getting into. Like the idea, but not going to get into the coin. Talus, that got me from Star Wars. I really wanted to get into Talus. Haven't done it yet. Now might be a good time, just because I want to own one. Again, just to set, I'm going to look at the daily income, weekly, monthly, and yearly incomes. I'm going to look at the performance of it. It's kind of all over the place, but it's had some ups and downs. Is $18 a good fair value for it right now? I'm going to look at the announcements, the GitHub, the website, the Discord. I'm going to look at the Explorer and make sure it's still generating blocks. And then I'm going to see if this is something I want to get into. And I think I've kind of gone over most of it. I'm going to entertain questions, and maybe I'll do a part 2 to this to get your questions from it. But I think this kind of does the basic overview of what I do to pick a new Masternode. I think if you guys want me to do a video on setting one up, I'll actually go to here, pick a Masternode, buy the coins, and go set up the Masternode. There's going to be some cuts in that video where we don't have to wait like an hour for the coins to show up. So, but I'll do that if you want. Just let me know. But I thought I would introduce you to Masternodes.online and show you guys kind of how I pick a Masternode, the criteria that I do, and the steps that I do for every single one that I have. And I do this on all of them that I'm considering. So leave your comments down below, your questions. If you want to see the videos on how to set up a Masternode, I'll walk you through that. I'm primarily making this series for a friend of mine who's interested in getting into it. And this is the easiest way I can think to put it together, so I could share it with him and I could share it with you guys too. So hopefully it's educated some people on how Masternodes are chosen, by at least by me. You might have your own ways, and I'd certainly be interested in hearing those. If you view this a different way, if you consider weighing things a different way, definitely put that down in the comments. I'm sure other people would find value in how you do things. This works for me. If you agree with me, that's awesome. You can definitely comment that as well. But I'm always looking for new ideas and ways, but this is pretty much how I do things. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying this is how I do it. So again, as with everything in cryptocurrency, do your own research. Find out what is being said. Nobody taught me any of this. I figured things out on my own. I'm not saying I'm 100% correct. I am certainly more than willing to consider if someone tells me a better, different, or the fact that I'm looking at something wrong or I'm not considering something important. It's very well possible. My ego is not so big that I can't consider that I don't know everything, because I certainly do not. But what I do know is what I told you, and hopefully that kind of points some people in the right direction. Now, this is the first step, picking a Masternode. Setting one up and maintaining it is another aspect. And I'm not sure that people want me to get that technical, but if you do, I'm happy to do it. It's just, it would make this video extremely long if I went into more detail on the specifics of Masternodes and things like that. And I've done that before in other videos. So that's going to be it for this video. And like I said, I'm really interested in hearing what you guys want me to talk about now as far as this is concerned. I've got some ideas of where I want to take this to educate my friend in cryptocurrency, and that's kind of how I'm steering this series. And yes, it's going to be a series. So next, I think we're going to cover some shared Masternodes and what they do, because that's the easiest way to kind of introduce them. So look forward to that. I'll see you there.